So like everyone has known about that, like we have started the integration bootcamp like last month, and we have covered in the first session, we have covered the multiple topics that is required as a basic fundamentals knowledge. So we talk about the integrations and their terminologies, web services, some of the fundamentals we have talked about that. Okay. We have talked about the building the REST APIs. We have talked about the callouts as well, that is HTTP callouts, and the Postman tool fundamentals. So as a part of the live sessions, today also we are hosting the second session basically. And also like we have in the planning to release the some of the learning videos that should be available with the live sessions. Okay. So, and also like I will talk about the upcoming sessions plans as well, like how we are going to cover. Okay. So basically like we have taken first session. So that is very quite long, around 3 hours we have taken the session. So it's like we got the feedback like instead of the long hour sessions, we will keep it short and we will keep it on alternate Saturdays. Okay, basically. So we got the feedback from the attendees. So obviously we have to, according to that, we have to plan that. So basically in last sessions, we have covered the almost multiple topics as a fundamentals. Okay. So basically as a feedback, we worked on that and we decided that like we will keep short and like it will not take too much hours because it will be quite difficult for everyone to stay because we are joining virtually. So we will keep short. Okay. And basically, yeah. So like in the today's session, we are going to talk about the XML response type and its parsing and its building basically. Okay. So, and in the like next week, so basically we have planned now the alternate every Saturday. Okay. So if you talk about like today we are taking a session, so next Sunday we will take a session. Like this Excel sheet is already shared and publicly available on the GitHub repository. Also, we have this particularly sheet available. So let me just share with you all on the chart again. So you all will be aware about the upcoming session. And you will get a notification from portal as well. Okay. The first, if you are struggling with like first session, how to access the first session recording if you are joining a first time this session. So I will give you the brief idea about like how you can access the previous session and recordings as well. Okay. So now, as per the feedback, we will keep it simple today. So today we are going to cover around 1.5 hours on the completely focusing on the XML part. In the last sessions, we have discussed about the REST API, call the REST API and get the response from the REST API. And like in last session, we have understand about the JSON part, JSON response type. And but in today's sessions, we are going to talk about the XML only because as we discussed in the last session, we have the multiple response type according to our process. We can do it, right? So JSON is the most widely used. I told you in the last session as well, like JSON is the most widely used as format, right? So basically, and other than the JSON, we have the XML as well. XML is also the important response type. Okay. And we are going to talk about the SOAP-based services as well, SOAP-based services in the future session. So obviously, this XML things will be a help out definitely in the SOAP session as well. Okay. So in the today's session, we are going to talk about the XML response types, like how to handle that. I will give you the some of the examples. And then after that, I'm going to talk about the some real-time integration with the Times of India API. So we have the one RSS feed API basically, which is provided by the Times of India for the news services. Okay. So it's this particularly are like so XML based we can say public URLs that we can hit using the HTTP callouts, and these are called as RSS feeds. Okay, so we will integrate these Times of India RSS feed with our Salesforce basically, and I will give you the idea about like how we can do the XML parsing with that. So we have a couple of things that needs to be understood, and this is about the today's part. And in the next session, in the next week, we are going to talk about the authentication fundamentals. Okay, so that is planned on the 25th June. So Monday means the upcoming Monday, you will get a notification about the live class as well. Okay, particularly. So I will publish the live class and we will get a notification about this one. Okay, so it's the same time, and we will understand about like the connected apps, then particularly this one. So this is about the plan basically. And every week we will take a session, so you will not make any delay in the learning as well. Okay. Yeah, so this is about this one. And about the first session, accessibility, how you can access the training videos and all. So you have to just go to the academy.cloudfloodlay.com as an official website, and then you can particularly go to the courses section. Okay, so you will get the integration bootcamp, because we got the queries like how to access the previous session videos. So you have the already the login credentials, right? So you can just go to the courses section, and in the courses section you will find out this Salesforce Integration Bootcamp for beginners. Okay, and inside this you will be able to see the complete details like prerequisite, session 1, assignments of the session 1, and the session 2 as well, that is currently live. So you can access all those. And about the recordings, so if you see here, like you will be able to see, and you have to click on the view recording, then you will be able to see the recorded sessions of the whatever the previous live sessions that we have taken, and also assignments also you will be able to see here. Okay, so this is about the last session that we have taken. Okay, so now let's jump to the today's agenda. We will talk about the XML part. Okay, so now let me just give you the idea about what are the different types of XML formats. So like everyone knows, like in the last session we have talked about the JSON. JSON, it's kind of a very popular and most widely used format, which is used in the APIs communication. Okay, like if we are communicating with any API, so JSON will be the most widely used because it's very easy to use, and the human readable as well. Like as a developer, we can understand the structure and the format of the JSON as well, right? So that is most widely, but every time it will be not happen like you are going to use JSON. Sometimes due to some scenarios you have to use the XML as well. It depends on your complete how you are developing the architecture of your APIs, right? So the other than the JSON, we have the XML as well. So as compared to the XML, it's like quite difficult, but we have some standard DOM-based classes. I will tell you about in couple of minutes, and that the particular standard DOM-based classes we can use to build a XML-based parsing and XML-based request generation as well, right? So basically, this is the sample XML that I am showing to you all. So you are going to receive, or you are going to send some of the XML formats to the APIs, and then you are receiving the XML as well. Okay. So basically, if you compare like JSON, we have the like key value pair structure, right? Let's say for example, curly bracket open close, and then let's say for example data kind of, and then let's say we have an array, and inside that array, let's say we have the objects. And inside that objects, let's say for example, name colon, let's say I'm adding my name, age, address. Okay. Then let's say for example, employee code. Okay, so this is kind of the pure JSON format that we have understood in the last session. Like this is the key and key against, we have the different types of basically data types. Like we have the string, we have the boolean, we have the array, we have the object, right? And then we have to parse these things using the JSON.serialization method. We have talked about serialization, deserialization, then we have talked about JSON parser, JSON generator. So these are the some standard mechanism we have talked about related to specific to the JSON. So this is the response format. Similar, like we have the XML as. So XML is based on the node. That the main important thing is that node. Okay, we call in the JSON we called as a property, and in that property we have a key and we have a value, right? Like last session we have discussed about the particularly this one, right? Complete JSON string, and in that we have a property, and in property we have the key against value. So basically this is key, and against that we have a JSON array, right? So basically this key against we have a value. We call as a particularly a property that contains with the specific type of data, like string data, array data, or object data, right? These are all there. But in the XML, we have the particularly a nodes. It's called as a nodes, basically node. Okay, we call as a root node, we call as a child node. Okay, we call as a node attributes. So basically these are the terminologies we have to use when we are working with the XML. Node, okay, we call as a root node, and then we have a child nodes, okay, and we have the node attributes. Okay, so basically root node, child node is nothing but a part of the node. Node means what? Inside the this greater than and less than symbol, we have this particularly your identifier name. Okay, so see, understand this complete format. This is the standard way to define the XML. Okay, like version 1.0 encoding, it's a encoding format for the in the browser. Like it's very needed for that to understand this is the actual XML. Okay, because without this statement, without this identifier, the XML will be not identified. Okay, so XML version number and encoding format, this is very important for the XML format identification. Okay, so and this will be the nodes. Basically every particularly inside the greater than and less than symbol, whatever the identifier name you are giving, that is called as a node. Okay, and then you have to define your specific nodes. It's a root node, child nodes, and the attributes. So basically these are the three terminologies that we have to use when you are working with the XML part. Okay, so this is the one format that I am giving you, and also we will talk about the attributes format as well. Okay, so basically we have to we can get any type of formats, either in the form of node attributes or either in the form of nodes as well. So I'm going to explain about the both ways, how you can handle the nodes and how you can handle the node attributes. Okay, it depends on the architecture, how you are designing and how you are doing the representation of your data. That is the main. So basically we have to understand about the nodes. Okay, so let me highlight it properly. It's a nodes, and inside the nodes you have the root node, child node, and node attributes. So see, this is the node. Okay, and inside that node you have a child nodes. So for these child nodes, this is the root node. Okay, called as a parent node, I can say. Okay, so this is the way structure. Okay, this is the normal structure, and this is also called as a, let me just tell you. And for this, we have the DOM namespace available in the Apex library. Okay, so basically, it's called as a DOM namespace. Under the DOM namespace, you have the document and you have the XML node. So basically, these are the two standard Apex classes available in the DOM namespace library. So basically, this DOM namespace provide the classes and XML for the parsing and creating the XML content, whatever you are getting via REST API or via some different mechanism, you have to use the DOM namespace to particularly parse or generate the XML formats basically. Okay. So in the document class, so this is completely called as a document. Whatever the complete node structure are there, that is called as a XML document. Okay, this will be a content. Okay, use the document class to process the XML content. So basically, whatever the content you are getting, that will be a like basically with the help of a document. And then we have a XML nodes. So XML nodes is nothing but a nodes which is identified by the different way, like root node, child node, and node data nodes. Okay. So this is the namespace that you need to aware. So whenever you are particularly getting the XML response, you have to use these two classes, document and the XML. Okay. So this is the format that I'm using here. So what I will do now, particularly the first basic example, I will add this particular XML content into the static resource, and then I will use that static resource data to parse the particularly this XML nodes. Okay, and after this example, we will hit the Times of India RSS feed API. Okay, we will particularly insert, we will call this RSS feed API, and then we will parse the complete XML. Okay, so see, if you see, this is the XML format. This is the Times of India RSS feed. So we are going to talk about this live integration with Times of India RSS feed. Okay, and this particularly will give the details. Like there are different of RSS feed APIs are available, like sports, cricket, whatever the latest news you have to get, right? So particularly you can use this, let's say top stories, okay, world news, cricket related news, business related news. So we are going to use this RSS feed live API for the live example. Okay, and then I will give you the examples with this particular sample XML response. Okay, so now let me jump to go to the static resource. 1 second, let me just share. So what I will do now, let me just copy XML format. This is the XML I have created, and I will upload this as a static resource. Okay, so this is just for the example how you can. So first of all, first we will understand about the parsing, because every time we have the two things. Okay, first one is the let's say for example generation. Okay, request data generation and the response data parsing. Okay, we have two things. So first of all, we'll talk about the parsing, and then we'll talk about the generation. Because if your whatever the API you are calling, that accepting the XML format, so obviously you have to generate the XML as well. So first we will parse, we will learn about the parsing things, and then we'll go for the generation. Okay, and we have the different method as well. Okay, for that. So let me just go to the static resources. So in the static resource, let me just upload the sample XML file. XML response. Okay, so you can consider you are getting this XML response. If you see, let me see, this is the XML response you are getting. Result. So this is called as a root node. Okay, and inside that root node, we have a child nodes, we have a account, we have a codes. So basically, this is called as a child nodes. As I said on the notepad, right? We have a root node, we have a child node, and we have node attributes. So currently, we don't have node attributes here. Okay, I will talk about node attributes in sometimes in couple of minutes. Okay, but now we are understanding about only nodes. So basically this is root node, and then we have a child nodes, and then again we have the child nodes. So basically for this child node, this is the parent node, and for this child node, this is the parent node. And this complete the first node is called as the root node. Okay, so we are going to pass this one. So now what I will do, let me just particularly create one XML class. Basically Apex class, XML parsing example. Let me just create one static method. Okay. And let me just try to get the, I will just use the static resource to get the data. So this is my static resource. Okay. So basically, see, this is my static resource. So you can consider this, this data is getting from the some APIs. Okay. We will hit the live APIs. As I said, Times of India API, don't worry. We will take an example. Okay. But for now, for understanding about related to the XML, we are just using this sample example for the understanding of the DOM namespace classes. Okay. So now let's say you have received the particularly body. 1 second. Yeah, this is about this. Let me just copy and print. So let's say XML data. Okay, XML data from the system, external system, I can say you have received. Okay. So now what you have to do, you have to parse these XML formats. Basically, you have to parse this XML format, right? So now how we will particularly parse that we will understand basically. So, yeah. So this is the panel. Now let me go to the Apex class. So the first we will understand about a document class. So basically document class contains the complete XML document. Okay, basically. So this document class, it contains the couple of methods. There are load method, there are XML string methods, there are get root element method, and there are get create root element. So basically create methods we specially designed for the generating XML. Get methods we specially designed for the when you are doing the parsing. Okay, get and load methods basically. Okay, and once you are particularly XML is generated, you can use XML string method to get the XML data as a string. So basically these are the couple of methods are available. Okay, so first what we have to do, whenever you have the parsing, so you have to particularly load your XML data. So we have the dom.document. DOM.document. So DOM is a namespace. DOM is a namespace. Inside that we have a document, particular document method. Okay. And in that document method, so what you need to do, let's say you need to load the XML. So you need to create an instance of this particular document class. Okay. You need to create an instance of this particular document class. And then you have to use a load method, doc.load method. So see, there are four to five methods are there, and you have to use load method. And to load method, you have to pass your XML response, whatever you are receiving. Okay. Basically. So after loading the XML, this load method, okay, let me just resolve the error first. This load method will give you the reference of XML node. So we have the second class that is called as the XML node. So basically this XML node, okay, if you talk about load, this will give the reference of the XML node class. Okay. And in the, as a programmatically, every node is called as a XML node. Okay. As a generalized terminology, we have a root node, we have a child node, we have a node attributes, that is okay. Right. That is perfect basically. Okay. But in the when you are doing a programmatically, okay, the XML node class to work with the node in a XML document. See this one, this is the statement, right? So basically what I said, this is called as a node. Every XML element called as a node. Okay. And this node is represented by the XML node in the using the Apex library. Okay, so these are the, and in this particularly XML node, we have a different types of methods to parse it. Okay, we have a, so I will talk about the methods as well, like how you are going to cover. Okay, so this is about this one, like how you can particularly load data. So first, what you have to do, you have to load the XML, because without loading you cannot parse. Okay, so once the document is loaded, okay, means XML is loaded, you have to call the get root element. That is the first thing that you need to understand, the get root element, because every node will start with the root node. That is the first concept that I'm sharing again. Every node. So this, if you say this document is loaded, load is a standard method, and using load method, you have to load your XML data. Okay. And after that, you have to get the root element. If you see the preference of this one, document class is only having this get root element method. Okay. So what this method do for you? It returns the top level root element node in the document. Okay. If method returns null, the root element has not been created yet. It's a simple way to understand it. Okay, so basically this get root element will give you the root element of the XML document. Okay, whatever particularly document are there, so it gives the root element, that is called as a root node. Okay, so in this format we will get a result. So let's get it. Let's go to the developer console. So it will give the so basically return type of this get element node, get root element method is dom.xml node. It is a return type. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to dom.xml node. I can say root node. I will say root node. Okay. So let's check root node, and we can get the root node elements as well. Get name. Get name is a method available. So if you see, let me jump to the XML node class. So if you see, there are different types of methods available in the XML node. Different types of method for your reference. Okay. And we have a get name method. It returns the element name. Whatever the node name are there, it will returns the name. Okay. So now let me just print the name. You will understand how. Okay. It return time is string. So let's say root node name. Okay. Now let me print the name. Oh, sorry, system.debug. Yeah, and now let me execute this sample code, basically XML parsing examples, and then this is the parser. Yeah, if you see result is the, see, this is the XML is printed. Whatever the XML we have get that this complete XML. And if you see here, let me zoom it out properly. Yeah, see, root name is result. Root name is result because that is the root tag. And after that you have this. So every node is called as an XML node when you are doing the parsing. Okay. And in the first time you need to get a root node. So see, result we got that. And inside that results, we have the child nodes. We have nodes are available, but it's called as a child nodes. So you have to, if you, let's say if you have to get the child elements, right? Let me just now. So what you have to do using this root node, you have to get the child. So we have the different method that is called as a get child element. See, there are three methods are available. There are three methods: get child element, get child elements, and get children. Okay, there are three. Obviously, just as a generalized way, this is the parent and these are the childs of the parents, right? Account, code, these are the childs. But who is the parent? Parent is a result. So basically result is a parent and result having a two childs, account and codes. Okay. So this is called as a basically the structure of the Excel. Okay. When you are doing the parsing. So let's say, for example, you have the multiple things, multiple nodes. So you have to get the get child element. So it will give the list of XML node. It will give the list of XML nodes. See return type. See if you see the return type, right? It will give the particularly, and get child element. It gives the single element. Okay. So see now it will. So we have the list of nodes, right? We have the account node. We have the codes node. So what we have to do? We have to get the get child elements. So it will give the list of, again same, only two classes, dom.xml node, child nodes list. Okay, I'm just giving this name. Now let me loop into that. We will just do the looping, for loop, right? Dom.xml, again XML node, let's say child node. Okay, basically. So this is called as a child node. So what we'll do? We will receive the account and we will receive the codes. These two child nodes we will receive. Let's understand. Let me just print the name. Let me just copy the same debug statement and let's say child node name dot get name. Okay. Now let me just save it. Yeah. So I'm audible to all, right? I'm just getting the feedback from you all. I see Ashutosh comment like not audible. So is it I'm audible now? Everyone can just.
Yes, Aniket, you're audible.
Okay. Maybe like the issue from his side. Yeah. Thanks for confirmation. If any issues, just ping on the chart, so I will be aware about that. Okay. So now this is about. So now let's check that like it's properly give us the account and codes. Okay. Now let me just execute highlighted. Let me keep on the debug only. See, now we got the two child nodes, account and codes, right? So what I'm saying is that everything will be appropriate as per the structure of the XML format. Means this is root node, this is child node. Okay. So again, if you have the structure, then you have to get the node. So everything is the node. Okay. So this is root node, this is child node. When I'm doing a parsing of this node, so this will be called as a child node and this will be called as a parent. So that, but first node will be called as a root node. Okay, every time you have to understand, first node will be the basically a root node, and inside that root node we have the different multiple child nodes. Okay, so this is about this one. Now we have get the child nodes, and after that again we have the get child elements that also there. Okay, let me just get it. Again we will get the list of child nodes. I will give, let's say for example, grandchild nodes. Okay, I will give the grandchild nodes because basically once you will receive this one, you will get this one. Okay, so now I will say grandchild nodes. So now let me again make it loop. Let me just copy this loop and I will just now, let's say grandchild node. Grandchild dot name. Let me just save. Okay, now let me just make it execute again. Let me click on debug only. So see now, this is the parent, means this is the root node. Inside that root node, we have the account, and in the account we have the again child node, that is user ID and active. See this one, user ID and active. Then the child node closed. Then we have a quote, right? See this one, quote. Inside that we have a company, right? So see this one, we have the company. Company is a child node, and again you have to go to the deep, right? So you have to go hierarchy by hierarchy. You will not get anything directly here. You have to go to the hierarchy wise. Means parent, we can say root, grand, top parent, right? Inside that you have a child. Again, then they have a child, right? As a generalized example, we have the we are the childs of our parents, right? And we have a grandparents as well, right? We have a I can say super grandparents as well. I'm just giving an example to you. So this is kind of a hierarchy from parent to child. So same hierarchy you have to follow in the XML formats as well, right? So this is the structure that you have to follow when you are receiving the data, or when you are parsing the XML. Okay. So this is about the nodes. This we talk about the nodes only, but what about the values, right? So once you have received, let's say, I will give you the example, let's say only account. Okay, so what we'll do now, we will receive the account name, this child node. So what we'll do, we'll just add a condition here. If let's say child node dot get name, just for the example, I will add that equals account. Okay, just for the example, we have to get the data. Okay, so what will do, if it is child name is account, so we will get a particularly child nodes. What is the error? Let me fix the error first. Yeah, there is nothing, no errors. So now what we'll do, we have added the matching condition. If it is account, so it will just make sure that the code will make sure that the child node account, and then we will get a user ID here, user ID and active, right? So we will get a child node, and then we can get. So we have the in the child node, we have the attributes and we have the basically values as well. Okay. One second, let me just particularly add it. Get text. Get text is a method. See this one. This is the particularly a get text method that you can use. So I'm just showing to you as well, get text method. It gives the values. Okay. So now let me particularly add, let's say, for example, it gives a string, obviously. So it's we are receiving as a string. So let's say, for example, the value. Okay. Now let me just print the value. So what I will do now, child name, we will just print in the one statement. Okay. Let's say, for example, grand child node name. I can say simply, I will just use the value here. Get name, and then we will just use the colon and we'll just print the value. So we'll get a grandchild node, means we will get a user ID and active, and inside that user ID we will get this text. Okay, true and this one. So let's just execute and understand. Now let me click on debug only. See now. Are you able to see child node name account, and inside that account we have the user ID and we have a true. What is that? These are the value inside available in the node. Whatever the value available inside, you have to use the get text method. So basically in the XML node, you have the different methods. Okay, if you see, you have the different methods. I'm talking about the now the nodes method, right? Basically, to get child element, return the child element node for the node with the given name and namespace. Okay, these are there. Get child elements means if you have the multiple childs, okay, so then you can use this. This will give the list of child nodes are there. Get children, return the child nodes for this node, include all node types. Okay, basically. And now let me show you, we have the node type as well. Okay, let me just print the node type, system.debug. Get node type. This gives the node type basically. What is the node type? Now let me execute this one. Yeah, if you see, it's an element basically, right? Node type is element basically. Okay, now let me just show you the same node type. What I will do, let me just copy it. And in the parent, we will get this one, right? Root node, we have get that. So instead of root node, I will just print it this way. Root node dot get node type. Okay, so see this one, particularly element, element, and element. So it will be considered as an element. Okay. So this is about the basically a node parsing. If you talk about, we have the different nodes. Okay, we can generate the nodes as well. That is called as a request generation. That we'll talk about that. That's for that we have the basically create methods. Create methods are available for getting the data. We have get methods are available. For creating the XML, we have a create element. That methods are available. So basically, you have to consider. So this will be the simple node example I'm giving. Okay. So this is about the nodes parsing. Okay. So whenever you are receiving the XML data, so based on the your XML, I'm talking about the REST APIs only. Okay. And in the REST API, if you are getting the such type of response, so you can write your generalized parsing methods basically. Okay. You can parse it, you can collect your data, and then you can particularly build your logic, business logic based on the parsed data, whatever you are parsing using this XML nodes, basically. Okay, so clear everyone. This XML node part is clear for all. Any questions, anyone? Yeah, let me show you. Like we have got one question. Anyone, you can unmute yourself as well if you have any questions on the part as well. Okay. Let me just try to just give you the brief about node types. Yeah, so basically, node types is nothing but a particularly the XML, whatever the elements are present in there, because every node it's called as an element. Okay, as a technical term or as a XML, if you talk about it in the document perspective. So if we are working with the XML document, right? So basically every node will be called as an element. So particular, right? So there are different, I can say no other node types are there, but it will be called as an element only. Whatever I did the parsing, the particularly every elements will be the every nodes will be the element actually. It's an element of the XML. Okay. and how much deep we can get the child nodes. So there are some the exact count are there. Let me just show you. I think in document. Yeah, so you can parse the nested XML content that's up to the 50 nodes deep. Means you can go the 50 nodes. Okay. So let's say if you have the 50 nodes inside and inside, so you can go deep. So this will be the, we can say, the limit basically, whatever, if you like what you are asking about how you can go deep. So basically a 50 nodes deeps, okay, that you can go. And that is sufficient basically, because most of the time we have to do the attributes format data as well. Okay, not just only nodes, we have the attributes parts as well. I will talk about now. Yeah. The attributes is a different part. So every time we not go to the nodes based only. We have to go attribute as well. So I will talk about attributes as well. No issues after this one. Yeah. Clear everyone? Any questions? And definitely like for the notes type, I will get a more reference documents for you and I will share that as well. Okay. But for currently we have the element as a called as a node type. Okay. Every node is called as a element as XML file. Yeah. Can we go to the next? You can reply on chat or you can unmute yourself. You can have, if you have question, you can unmute yourself as well. No issues. Everyone is on silent. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, so now this is about the purely nodes part. Now let's go to the attribute based. Okay, let's say if you have the attributes inside the node, you have the attributes. Let's see this one, ID. So if you see, there are different attributes: registration time, status change time, status. See, these are the attributes. This is called as attribute basically. Okay. And then you are particularly, I can say, task. Okay. Basically, so this is the single closing here, right? We cannot close. We can close as well, not an issue. Okay. But this is called as attribute. Means inside the node, you can define your data. That's called as a attributes basically. Okay. That called as a attributes. So as I said, like we have the nodes, and inside nodes we have root node, child node, and node attributes. So basically this is called as a node attributes. Means let's say I want to define, let's say account, let's say account ID, or we can say name. So I can define this here and I can define the value. Okay, let's say for example, Google, right? So this is called as a attribute, node attribute. Okay. So most of the time, let's say for example, because we have the limitations on all, right? We have to particularly parse, we have to send the data, or we have to capture the data within the limitations as well, right? As I told you, like we can go up to the 50 nodes dips, right? But we have the another way or another mechanism called as a node attributes as well. So if you want to share, like if you want to store or if you want to add some data, so you can particularly add into the nodes as attributes as well. Okay. And you can also parse this attribute, okay, using that. So how we'll do that? We'll understand now. So now let me just give you the example. Let me just close task. Let's say for example, this is my task, and build REST API is my task. Okay. Inside that, let's say you have a basically, I can say story points. Okay. Basically. So I'm just sharing this data. Okay. Story point is 5. Meaning within the 5 days, you have to complete it. These are. So you have this XML data basically. right? So I will just add this data. Let me just copy this one. Now let me save this. And now let me upload this document. Okay. If I view, so now see, this is my response now. Okay. So I will get the data. Let's understand. So basically, if we are working, so we have the basically a node attribute methods are available. Okay. In the XML node, we have the attribute methods. Let me go here. Sorry. Let's say we have the get attribute count. Okay. Basically get attribute, you can pass the namespace attribute value for the given key, get attribute count, get attribute key. Let's say for example index, the returns the attribute key for the given index value starts at 0. Okay. Get attribute key ends at, means returns the attribute key namespace for the given index. Okay. Namespace key namespace for the given index. Get attribute value. Okay. Get value ns. Okay. So these are the basically attribute based methods are available basically, right? So let's understand how it works. Now let me create a different method. I'm just creating a different method, for example. Okay. Parse XML attributes. Okay. So now in this structure, you will get a root node. Okay. Let me just close this one. You will get a root node as a response. And inside that, you have to get a child, right? Basically. So now what I will do, I will just get the child. So we don't have the multiple, right? So we can have the get. So basically we can get a children as well. Let me just try this one. See, I have the only single one, so I can get it. So let me just try to add the value down.xml node. So we have the only one element, so we can get at index position. Let's say child node. Okay. And for the confirmation, let's do the printing of the child node name. Get name. So now let me just resolve the errors. Yeah, I think we don't have any errors. So let me just properly save it and let's execute. 1 second. Yeah, now let me just particularly execute this one. Let me click on debug only. Yeah, so we did not got the proper child node name is null. 1 second, let me just verify. Children node. Okay, maybe we have to get the child elements. Let me try. One second. Maybe that children elements we are not getting using that method. So obviously we will use the get child elements as well. Let me use the same methods. You can use the get as well, no issues. Now let me execute again. Okay, yeah, we got the task. So maybe we have some different issue with the get children element method. So maybe I will figure it out and I will add it into the notes as well. Okay, so we got the child. Now using this child node, we have the attributes, right? So let's understand. So let's understand the get attribute count method. We will see how many counts are there. So as per our understanding, okay, as per our human readable format, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 attributes are there. So let's understand we are getting the 7 or not. The return type of this method is integer, right? So let's assign the value, let's say attribute count. And let's print it. Okay, so let's say this particular method must be written 7 because as per our human readable understanding of this XML format, it is having this XML format is having the 7 attributes are there, right? Inside that. Let's check. Debug only. Yeah, if you see 7 attributes, means we are correct, right? 7 attributes current are there. And then if you want to specifically, let's say specific, see, these are the attribute specific methods. Get attribute, okay. Key are there, namespace are there, particularly get attribute count, get attribute at, okay. Get attribute at ns, get value, okay. And so let's understand particularly. Let me give you the 0 index. Okay, on 0 index, what is that? ID. Obviously, as per the sequence, it will follow, right? Let's understand the concept, like it will give a proper or not. Get attribute key at. Okay. So what is the return type of this method? It is a return type is this one. Okay. Let me go to the documentation, official documentation as well. One second, sir. My mouse is not working. Yeah. In the get attribute key at index. Okay. Returns the attribute key for the given index. Value starts from this one. Okay. And its return type particularly is a string, right? Return value is type string. So let's check. Let me just print this debug statement. Okay. Yeah. If you see ID, it gives the ID basically, right? See this one, ID first index we are getting, right? Get attribute key at index. So we are given the 0 index. So it's given the ID attribute to me, right? If you see ID here. And with the help of this one, we can particularly get returns the key namespace for the given given index, right? We will understand this method as well. So let me copy. It also having the return type is integer. Okay. Get attribute key ns at. You have to give the index and return parameter is integer, return type is basically string. So now let me copy the same thing. Okay, and then we have the get attribute key value. Okay, basically. So example, see this one, and then we have the get attribute value as well, right? Get attribute value. So value will give you the basically what will be the exact data are present in that attribute. You will get that. So let me just copy this as well. Okay. So now let me just pass it. See here they have given the example get attribute value. Let's first understand this one and then we will go for the next one. Execute highlighted. Debug only. Yeah. It's not giving the proper values. Keys at 10. Child node get attribute. It should be a returns actually. One second. Let me just verify. Okay. Okay. So first we will understand this one because this is very important. We have the two methods are there. One is a get attribute and second one is a get attribute value. Okay. One is a get attribute and one is a get attribute value. Okay. It returns the attribute value for the given key and the key namespace. Okay. If you see the example here, for example, XYZ is a tag and we have the attribute, right? Let's say, for example, we can add the namespace as well. Okay. So get attribute returns the particularly this one. Okay. And get attribute value returns the particularly this one, right? See, these are the particularly things are there, right? So you have to understand about how particularly you can get the values. Okay. So this is nothing but this one, get attribute and get attribute value. These are the two different methods. Get attribute value returns the value of the given key and key namespace. Okay. So now let's understand. Let me just remove this one. I will give you the separate example for this NS and NS methods. Okay. Get attribute and attribute value. Get attribute and attribute value. So let's say, for example, we have the null, we are passing null. Let's say I'm giving a ID. Okay. And also we will just give us the get attribute value. This is called as attribute. Okay, so these are the two different methods, attribute and attribute value. So now let's save it and let's understand how it works. Debug only. See this one. Particularly, you have get the values in both one. See, you have passed the ID as a parameter, right? So both output are same. But actually we don't have the namespace. Namespace is nothing but a basically, if you want to give something, let's say identification, that is called as a namespace basically. But both are giving the same output. Okay. So if you have the such type of particularly the attribute parameters are there, right? So you can directly use the attribute or attribute value both, and you can particularly namespace will be the always optional. It is not required. Okay, because it is accepting the two parameter. Okay, first one is the key and second one is the namespace. But most of the time, see, I'm whatever I have experience when I'm doing parsing, we will not have the any namespace kind of structure. Namespace means it is like a same example they are given in the documentation like this. Okay. Sometimes we got this type of basically. Okay. So namespace are there, but I will share the some sample XML formats as well with the namespaces. Okay. So in the notes format, we will share that. But most of the time, you are going to particularly get the parameters like this. Okay. Directly without with proper value, proper key against that we have the values. Okay. So if you see now, the attribute and attribute value are giving the same output to me. Means I am directly able to get the values if having the such type of attribute formats. Okay. So that will be the structures to access the attribute values. Okay. So if you want to access the story points, you can just pass the story point here. Namespace, you can pass it null. So that's why when I'm sharing this example with you all, I use the null as a parameter. Okay, because I don't have nulls, because I don't have the we don't have the any namespace are there. Okay, so maybe I will share the namespace example as well, not an issue. Okay, I will take an example, some of the examples related to specific to namespace as well. Okay. So now let me just add the name second point, basically story points. Right now, let me save. Let's check. We will get the values. Debug only. See this one. 5 value 5 are there. Right. I'm using value, so we have the 5 value present right in the story point attribute. So this is about the you can particularly store. So see, we have the already the limitation like I can say the limitation key like we can go up to 50 nodes. So based on that, actually you can design the formatting. We can say response format or request format, right? So if you have the 50 nodes limitations, you can particularly define the attributes based on the your request or response data. Okay, means you can particularly build a structure and you can define it. Like for example, let's say you have this one, right? You can, let's say user ID and active, you can pass it as a parameter like this. I will tell you. Sorry. User ID. Okay. And then you have the active. For example, I'm just giving the example are there. Like this, you can particularly pass the value. ID, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. And instead of creating the extra nodes, you can particularly keep it simple, or you can keep it your specific identification number for that node. Let's say I'm passing the account name. Okay. And then other data you can pass it here. So it will be a very easier structure for the request generation and for parsing as well. Okay. So this kind of you can particularly build your structure if you have reaching the limitations of the 15 nodes. Okay, perfect. So this is about the attribute specific, and this is about the node specific. Okay, so this is called as a particularly the parsing way that you can do. So now let me jump to the example that I'm talking about. That is called as a RSS feeds. Okay. This is the example, like this is the one RSS feed link are available. This is the publicly available, we can say I can say API basically, not the pure API, but it's kind of giving the XML based format. If I see cricket related are there. Let me copy and open in new tab. See, this is the, you can hit this API. Okay. Using the HTTP callout, you can hit this API and you can get the particularly nodes are there. Right. See this one. RSS is a parent root node, and then you have the child node channel. Inside that you have the title, link, description, right? Language, last build date. These are the, we can say copyright. Right. These are the, we can say the particularly child nodes. Then you have the image, right? Inside that image, you have the URL as well. See, image URL are there, right? So you can build this structure, and then you have the items. So basically, these items is nothing but a different news. you want to show the news to your user, right? You have built a one screen using LWC, Aura or VF page, right? And now you need to show, once user will land on that page, you have to show the cricket related news, right? You have to particularly, so you will hit this particular API and you can get the all details. Let's say items. So items, title, description, link, published date. So these are the basically this one, right? So this news title is like brilliant route. Ton puts the England in command in Ashes opener. This is the news title, right? And this is the description about news, right? So you can particularly define, you can define your parsing format and you can get it. Okay. So let me show you the example now. So this is the example that I have given to you. Okay. Using nodes and attributes. Okay. So now let me take this same example. This same example. So what I will do now, let me create a one Apex class. Let's say news XML parser. Okay, I'm just giving this name. You can let me define the HTTP callout logic. I have already created some example before like this session to give you the idea. So let me just copy the HTTP one. HTTP callout. I am doing HTTP callout here. Public static void parse news, etc. Okay, and status is fine. Status code is fine. XML response. See this one. This is the XML response we have received. So this is the HTTP callout, right? We are hitting the API. Now we've got the response. Now what we have to do? We have to first document. We have to load the document. We have to get the root element. And inside that, we have to get the child elements, right? Let me copy this structure. Children node. So you will get a different types of children nodes. So you will get inside that channel, you will get, see this one. This is the root node RSS. Inside that RSS, you have the channel as a child node. Inside that, you have the multiple children, child elements basically. Okay. So you have to get this children node. And in children node, you have the only one node. So you can get it using 0th index. So we'll get a dom.xml node. So that is called as a channel node. Okay. Based on this structure, I'm doing parsing. This is the channel node. And inside the channel node, you have the another children's basically child elements. So basically, again, you have the child elements. I will call as a news item node. Okay. See, we have the multiple nodes here, but we have the items. See this one, items. These are. So these items is a news for me. Okay. So I have to parse only. So what I will do, I will just loop it for loop. Because I need only that node basically. News item node, and I will match the condition. Okay, because it will going to be in the loop. Okay, if dot get name dot equals, okay, item, because it's giving the item to me, and inside that item we have the title, description and all. Okay, so item, we got that, and then we will get a particularly again get child elements, because inside that item you have the multiple child elements, right? See this one, these are the basically a child elements. So again we have to get the Let me just make sure we don't have any errors. Let me save it first. Duplicate name news item node. Okay. Oh, we have to pass this XML response directly here. Okay, error are resolved. So now in once we get the item node, inside that item node, we have multiple item nodes again. So let me copy it again. So we can say news item, child nodes. And then we have to again make it loop. We have to make it loop. And then you will get exactly values. Let's say system dot debug get text. We will get the values of each text. Okay. Let me just print a name as well. Dot get name. Okay, name and particularly value. So let's execute this code now. So see, we are doing a parsing. We are hitting the API, right? This is the Times of India API. See this one. This is the URL directly. So I'm hitting this URL as a REST, like a REST API, which is using get method, and we are getting the response and we are parsing the response, right? So now let me execute this example. Let me just close. This is called as news parser. This parser example. Now let me execute. Yeah, it's executed. Now let me click on debug only. RSS, we got that. If you see root name are there, but after that we did not get output. So let's check. XML response, we got the root node, and then we got the child nodes. But I think child node we did not got for like on this index. Maybe we have a different format. 1 second, let us check. RSS are there, and inside that RSS we have a channel, and inside that channel we have the different one. Let's see this one, image, item, and all there. There is no parent after that, so it's word box. Let me check. So what we'll do, instead of getting the 0th position, now we'll just make another looping part. So at least we will understand. I'm directly making loop, and instead of this one, I will just add this. This will be the nested structure, but this will be a quite difficult. See, we are not doing any DML operations or anything. It's just a parsing, so it will don't have any issue because we are just exporting the text data. Basically, we are working with the text data, so it will not hamper. If we are working any heavy operations on the nested loop, so that will be a quite difficult. Okay, but this will properly work. Okay, so now let me just execute. At least we will see like how we are getting data. No, I think we are missing something. Children nodes, we got that, and then we have a Oh, 1 second. Let me just print the name. Channel node name. We will debug it properly, so at least we will get something. Don't worry, it takes times to understand the step because we are directly hitting the API, right? That is not a simple format. So obviously we will face a problems. Let's understand. Yeah, we got the channel. See this one. Maybe, yeah, channel is correct. So we got the child name here, channel node, right? And then, oh, correct. Here needs to be a this one. And here needs to be this one. See, by mistaken, I use the same node. That's why nothing is here. So means that get 0th position is correct. Huh? I missed that node name actually. That's why I'm getting that. We are not getting the data exactly. Okay. No issues. You have fixed that. Let's execute. Yeah. See now. The title, description, link, GUID, published date. See this one. We got the data. See, we got the data, and now we can get the text, and we can whatever we want to do, we can show in the front to the users via LWC order. See this, we have got the multiple data. Whatever the total news items are there, we got the data. Okay, and we can build our response, we can build our business format structure, and we can display to the user on the screens. So this is called as a XML parser. Okay. So using HTTP callout, if you got the response, you can get it basically. Yeah. So the like Moshi is asking about some question like in terms of security, XML is more secure or JSON? See, basically it's completely dependent on how you are handling authentication. We are going to talk about the authentication side. That will be the we can say authorizations for the when you are doing communication between the two parties, right? For about that data format, you can use any. That will be a nothing any other, right? Main important thing is that when you are doing the communication between the two systems, how you are handling the authorization. Because the other than that authenticated system, the other system cannot call. Let's say, for example, if you are particularly calling my API, right? So basically, I can give you my identity to you, right? So that will be there. So basically, as a response structure or response format, you can use anything. It is not a main thing is that your API authorization is important. How your systems are there. How okay? Can we implement exception handling here? And can we manage exception / variable? Yes, we can do. Sometimes what happens, let's say XML node is not found, right? Sometimes XML node was got different ways. So definitely you can handle that. Okay, not an issue. You can just add the simple, let's say you want accepted node, but you did not got that. So definitely you can add that. That is not an issue. Okay, that will be there. Yeah. So this is about this one, and as well as okay, and as well as see, this is about the parsing. I talk about that. You can build a XML structure as well. Okay. See, you have the document class. Now, this is the last part of the today's session. That is the root element part. Okay. So basically, you can create your XML structure as well. How you can do that? Let me show you. Okay. So in the same Apex class, let's say build XML. Okay. I'm just giving that. And same you can use document class method. And then you can create a root element first. Okay, see this one, create root element. Okay, namespace I can give the null, prefix I can give the null. For example, I'm just giving. And in the name, let's say I'm passing the account. Okay, this is root element. So it particularly this root element method, this root element method will return the dom.xml node again. Okay, it will return the dom.xml, means let's say for example root node. Okay, and inside that root node you can write your data. Let's say add a child element. See this one. Add child element particularly. Okay, and how namespace also works, that will also see. Let's say add child element, and I'm giving, let's say, name. Okay, name, namespace is null, prefix is null. Account number. Okay, and then what you can do, you can use a doc to get the XML string, to XML string. This will give you the string basically. XML data. Okay, and you can try to print the XML data. And now let me execute this one. Let's check it. Let me execute highlighted. And now let me click on debug only. See this one. Your XML format is generated. Let me just copy. Let me make it null. Language XML. See this one. Account name. Okay, I think it's closed. It's not properly generated actually. We have to close this one actually after this basically. So it's closed explicitly. So this is about the particular this one, right? See this one. It's wrong actually generated. We have missed the some methods actually. 1 second. Once again, let me just go to the documentation. Add comment node, creates a child comment node for this and text node. These are the two different things. I will explain this one as well. We have the set method actually. Put node dot set attribute, sets namespace. Okay, let me just add the namespace here. Namespace kind of, let's say for example, ACC and prefix, let's say for example, ACC. Okay, let me just give this one so we'll get an idea. Okay, so now let me 1 second. Let me just properly give that. See, there are 3 parameter: namespace and prefix. Okay, so I will just give the name ACC N and ACC prefix P ACC and N ACC. Okay, so you will get a clear idea how this namespace and it works basically. Because if you see, when we are doing the parsing, we talk about the namespace and prefix, right? So how it gives that, I will show you. So now let me just save it and give you the idea. Let me build XML again. Debug only. Let me copy this XML. See, account, this is the root tag. See, ACCP prefix, then name is a tag, and then XML name. So it is basically a namespace. Okay, like this your structure will work basically. Okay, so this is the prefix and this is the namespace. Okay, so when we talk about get prefix and get attribute value, right? So this is about related to specific this one. Okay, so if you are particularly XML is having a prefix and the namespace, you have to particularly get that, right? So this will works basically, looks like. Okay, and about the values, let me just add the value here. Add a comment node and add a text node. Okay, comment node and add a text node. I will give you the brief idea on that, because we have the 2 different methods. Let me save. Now our XML is generated. Now let me show you. Okay, I think the value is different. Node is generated. 1 second. I think something is missing. I forgot as well. 1 second. Because value should be inside that one, greater than, because your tag is generated and inside that tag you have to add your data. So I think something I missed the method. Let me just confirm it. Set namespace, set attribute, remove child, insert before. Add text nodes for this node. Okay, means text node will work. Okay, so basically, 1 second. Let me just dom.xml node. See, it will return the child node. Okay, so I forgot another one thing is that I am trying to do it with the root node, but that is a wrong actually. Okay, I am adding child element. So basically what I need to do, child node dot add text node. Okay, so basically this is the two things that you need to understand. Let me show you the output. Okay, let me make it null properly, so we will generate a proper response. Okay, this is null null. I'm not using namespace or prefix now. I'm just using a sample. Okay, so now again I added a root node in the child, right? And then again this child element will give you the another node to me. Okay, child node 1, and using that I will add that here. Okay, now let me show. Let me add Google here, and account number is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Now let me show you the output. Let's check. Now it's properly generated. Sorry, I forgot to show that, like we have to properly add that. See, account is a tag. Then we have a generated name, right? Inside that name, see, previously it's not coming, right? Because of my mistake. So actually I did my mistake, and then I realized that we have to return that node actually, because it will return the node. Because child element added, then we have to get the return node actually. I did not do that. I'm using root node only. So now it's properly generated. See, account, name, inside that we have value, account number, we have this value. So this is about that how you work. So I forgot to say that, like, we have to get the return value in the node, and then we have to use that. Okay, so this is about you can use, and you can add the attribute value as well if you want to add. Okay, I want to add attribute value. So what I can do, child node dot add we can say set attribute. See this one, and inside that, let's say for example, what is that? This is name, right? Say I can say name, location. Okay, I can say city. Okay, and I will give you the values, let's say Mumbai. For example, I'm just giving the example to you all. So it will add the attribute city inside this here. Okay, let me show you. Now let me copy the same example, and now let me show you. See this one, attribute value is added, account, and inside the name you have the city. So this is about this one. See, city is added, right? So this is how you can generate the XML format as well. So this is about the XML parsing, XML generation, and that one. But there are one thing that you can particularly learn by yourself, that I can say about the namespaces, prefix and namespaces. Okay, so you can add the namespace and you can add the prefix as well. See, set namespace and prefix. So this will be the, we can say, kind of a structure are there, but most of the time I also not use, means whatever the real time example I saw, I did not saw the any prefix are there. Okay, prefix or namespaces, but sometimes you will get a such type of namespaces and prefix. But whatever the examples I have faced, I did not. Even these Times of India APIs as well does not have the particularly the prefix and namespace are there. Okay, so this is about the XML part. So we are clear with that. So anyone have any questions, you can discuss. We are done for the today's part actually. We are done for the XML parsing. So this is the planned one which is need to be covered today. So we have covered that, like we have started around 11:15 and now we have ended up. So we don't want to stretch more. We will go step by step, and then next we will talk about the authentication. Okay, so anyone have any questions or doubt, you can unmute yourself or you can ask on the chat as well. Okay, yeah. If anyone have any questions or any doubts, you can discuss. So we are done with the session for today. Anyone have any questions?